Hi, my name is Kayli Ann Yoshioka, and this is my presentation for the Capstone Symposium on creating a sustainability certification for Hawaii hotels and lodging. This is a hypothetical proposal project created after completing a literature review in my capstone course. In this project, I will partner with Sustainable Tourism Association of Hawaii, or STH, to create a sustainability criteria and certification process that is specific to the needs and challenges that Hawaii hotels and lodgings face. In the following slides, I will provide some background from the literature review. The tourism industry is a huge sector of the global economy and has one of the largest impacts on the surrounding environment and local community. While beneficial for the economy, the tourism industry creates negative impacts through an increase in waste, pollution, overconsumption of resources, and lack of consideration for stakeholder needs. Due to these issues, the World Tourism Organization developed and defined the idea of sustainable tourism to address the quote, current and future economic, social, and environmental impacts, addressing the needs of the visitors, the industry, the environment, and host communities, end quote. The triple bottom line is defined as the three pillars or dimensions of sustainability. The environmental pillar encompasses the conservation and management of natural resources, minimizing pollution, and conserving biological diversity and natural heritage. The social pillar recognizes that human rights and equal opportunities must be provided for all members of society through the equal distribution of benefits, respecting different cultures, and avoiding any form of exploitation. Lastly, the economic pillar is defined as the long-term viability of enterprises and the generating of prosperity at different levels of society through the addressment of cost-effectiveness for economic activity. The TBL provides the foundation for the creation of the sustainability certification. Based on the literature review, gaps are identified that will need to be addressed in the creation process. Firstly, there is a lack of measurable indicators for criteria in the environmental and societal sectors of the TBL, which makes it difficult to determine if the existing criteria and certification is having a positive impact towards issues in these areas. Secondly, there is a lack of innovating after the hotel or lodging has obtained certification. Once certification is obtained, the establishment will likely only meet the bare minimum of the certification standards, slowing the growth of innovative technology or management plans. Lastly, there is a need to consider location. Location of the establishment determines whether the hotel or lodging will comply with the criteria. Additionally, the location of the hotel or lodging determines if the technology will meet the demands of an area or the environment. This leads us into tourism in Hawaii. Hawaii's tourism industry comprises a large sector of the state's economy, as the Hawaii Tourism Authority estimates that $17.75 billion were generated for the state from the 10 million visitors in 2019. Certification for hotels and lodging in Hawaii is limited to certification from out-of-state third-party bodies. However, Hawaii's tourism situation is unique, and there are many factors or challenges that need to be considered in order to obtain sustainability that is specific to the islands that may not relate to criteria set by national or international certification standards. This project was designated to begin January 8, 2023 and ends on March 4, 2023. In the Gantt chart on the slide, I will provide a brief outline of the methods and timeline. First, I will review Hawaii's sustainability goals and sustainable tourism goals in order to understand the challenges or issues that need to be addressed. I will then review existing criteria and certification to provide a baseline for the criteria and certification process that could possibly be adopted to address local needs and challenges. We will then create and meet with an advisory board consisting of a select few representatives and stakeholders from the hotel and tourism industry. We will then create the new sustainability criteria and certification for Hawaii hotels and lodging. While meeting with the advisory board, a new criteria and certification that emphasizes the TBL will be created, with the new certification including the measuring of indicators and incentives to continue innovation post-certification. A midterm workshop will be held with stakeholders to present the draft certification process, and an update and review period will be conducted following this, with the advisory board to make necessary changes. The final workshop will then be held with the same stakeholders as the midterm workshop to present the final process. And finally, the finalization and implementation, in which final changes from the advisory board and workshop will be adapted, with the criteria and certification will then be submitted to STH for review and implementation through their organization. The mock proposal grant awards a maximum of $2,500, which funds 6 months of activity from January 1st through June 30th. The budget form on the slide breaks down the personnel, travel, supply, and other costs for the duration of the project. The total budgeted expense of the project is $2,189. A more thorough explanation of each category is broken down in the proposal document, which is linked at the end of this presentation. The creation and implementation of the sustainability criterion certification will provide the positive impacts towards different sectors of the TBL. It will improve sustainability for hotels and lodging and hotels seeking certification, as those hotels will need to implement sustainability standards into management and operation plans. It will also create measurable indicators for previously lacking areas, which will justify the establishment's response to measure, monitor, and report their impacts to the specified parameters. The more hotels that obtain certification, the more competitive the market will become, as the establishments will need to find ways to improve technology and become more innovative in their management and operational plans, which will also reduce long-term costs for the establishment. Lastly, meeting the criteria and using the measurable indicators will help to limit negative impacts associated with unsustainable practices. In terms of beneficiaries, hotels and lodging stakeholders will see a decrease in operation and management costs, improved relations with their stakeholders, and an increase in reputation. The local community will also benefit as they will find themselves more involved in the discussion and will see an improvement in the local economy. The state of Hawaii will also see steps towards sustainability through an addressment of necessary goals, and the surrounding ecosystem will improve as the enactment of management programs will help to decrease negative impacts such as waste and pollution. Finally, the dissemination plan. Once the criteria and certification process has been created and finalized, STH and I will work to implement it. We will provide establishments with the necessary information, such as the benefits and incentives that are produced when a hotel or lodging obtains certification, with the hope that it will motivate them to do so. We will also provide hotels and lodgings with the necessary resources containing the criteria that needs to be met and how they can achieve it. Thank you for listening to my presentation. For the full documents, please check out the links on the slide for the literature review and the mock proposal document.